The last two videos that we've uploaded on the channel have been investment videos, and pretty much every single investment that we've made in the last two episodes have made us a bunch of profit. These investments have the turnaround time of about 24 to 72 hours, and they've been working really, really well. So why fix something that's not broken? Let's keep it going. Another investment video today. Let's see if we can make some more profit. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Trading to Glory. It's actually the third time I've recorded this video. I actually recorded about 30 minutes worth of footage just to realize I was using the wrong microphone. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Trading to Glory. Nonetheless, today we're going to be talking about investments that we can make as Rule Breakers exit packs on Friday, as the new Team of the Week comes out, and then also as Player of the Month cards start dropping next week. Because as we know, there's so many Player of the Month cards this year. There's La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, Liga 1, Bundesliga. You've got Eredivisie. MLS might drop some. So there's a lot of SBCs on their way, along with any player SBCs that we get from a promo. I know fodder's already kind of high, and I told you last week to invest in it, and you probably already sold. If you went really heavily in those 88 rated cards, you ended up making bank, so GG's on that. But they could go higher, honestly, and we've seen them continue to go higher in previous years, and it's been pretty accurate to what fodder has done in previous years. At the beginning of November, they really start to rise, and they don't drop until Black Friday, kind of, maybe the Team of the Year crash, and realistically, they just will never get back down to what they were beforehand. It just never will get to that point. But we are seeing a little bit more supply this year, so it could be a little bit different. We've got to keep our head on a swivel. I'm going to go ahead and update you guys on some investments from last episode because a few of them are going to carry over into this episode. Mukiele, not so much one of them, although I did screw up and keep 3 Mukieles because I thought, you know what? I can sell all of them for 85 right now, and I did on 9 of the 12 that I had, which I should have done for all of them because I was like, yeah, he could go up to 90K tomorrow, and he didn't. And the reason for that, as we look back, the reason I held him is because I thought, okay, the Upamecano Team of the Week card, as people get him in their red picks, they're going to want to link him with Mukiele. And I wasn't wrong about that, but the Nkunku SBC was the real reason he rose the most. Not the only reason he rose, of course, but the reason he rose the most initially. And what happened was SBC fodder started to go up a lot more over the course of the last couple of days, especially once the FUT Heroes SBC ended up dropping, where you get a guaranteed FUT Hero upgrade. And it's about 200,000 coins to do, roughly. I don't know if I want to do it on the Trading to Glory account and just get Ocampos or Dempsey. It's risky. Although I have seen a lot of people pack Janola or Di Natale or Abide Pele, so I don't know if I should do it. But nonetheless, it has made fodder rise in price. And when it does that, any other SBC that's currently out, such as that Nkunku, it becomes more expensive. Okay, it's less worth doing. So not very many people are doing this Nkunku anymore. If you did it on the first 2 or 3 days. Nobody else is doing that Nkunku, which means that nobody else is buying that Mukiele for the link, other than the people that want to link it to Upamecano, and in the end, it just wasn't enough to keep it at 85K. So it's important to learn why the card dropped and why you didn't end up making as much profit as you could have, because I could have made another 30 to 40,000 coins, and I didn't because I got greedy and I held too long. Maybe I should start taking my own advice and just take the profit when I see it. But we live and we learn, guys. Mukiele is not going to be one of the cards that ends up being an investment that we go in on again anytime in the near future. Onyeka, on the other hand, if you guys checked out the last episode, I picked up, I believe it was 9 Frank Onyekas. And I bought them all for 80,000 coins or less, all the way down to 77K. It was when he hit his bottom point of his normal fluctuation, and he ended up rising back all the way to 89,000 coins, which is what I sold him for. Now, if you take a look at his graph over on FUTBIN, which I'll go ahead and pull up here for you in a second, you'll see the fluctuation on this card just over the course of a few hours is pretty beneficial, and you can profit just off of quick flips for this Onyeka. You don't actually have to make a full-on investment for him. So we're going to type his name in, pull him up, and scroll right to the bottom. We'll take a look at his hourly graph over the last couple of days, and we'll look at yesterday when we were trading with him. So we picked him up on Monday when he got down to as low as 82. He actually got down to 80. I picked him up right here, but there was a lot of cards getting listed at 80K, 79K. That's when I picked him up, was right about there. He got a little bit lower later in the day, it looks like, but then he spiked back up. And you can see just a small little spike at 6 p.m. UK, down, right back up. Yesterday, he was at 96,000 coins, his lowest point, 82,000 coins right now, about 85,000 coins. So you can see there's a lot of profit to be made if you buy at its low point, sell at its high point. In fact, 14,000 coin difference after tax at this price, it's about 9K per card. You buy 10 of them, you just made 90,000 coins. You can see how effective this can be. All you got to do is monitor the price, buy at the low point, sell at the high point during the day. But I believe this is going to be a good card and not the only rule breaker. That'll be a good card out of packs. It's going to be one of those rule breakers and special cards that rise as well after it leaves the supply of packs. And it's important to remember, once it leaves packs, it doesn't mean complete supply is cut off. You've still got people trading with those cards, selling it on from their transfer list for profit, people who used it in their team but don't want them anymore. The supply isn't completely gone, so you got to keep track of that. But it definitely doesn't hurt, and we've seen how other cards this year have done really well out of packs. One of the most notable ones is Vinicius Jr. He has an 83 rated inform. He's currently 230,000 coins. Now, when he was in packs, he was like 150K. And you've also got to consider the buying power at the beginning of the year, not nearly as high. So that definitely contributed as well. But when you look at this kind of rise, there's no denying this card has so much demand, and it rose much more than a lot of the other Team of the Week cards from Team of the Week 1, 2, and 3. And the reason was, it's one of the only left-wing cards you can use in La Liga, and it's one of the best left-wing cards that you can use as a Brazilian, other than Neymar. And it's its own price range, its own price bracket. Somebody who can afford Vinicius Jr.'s inform might not be able to afford Neymar. But the reason I bring this card up is because he got all the way up to 366,000 coins, which is 200,000 coin profit on the card if you had bought during the first week and sold at its peak. Most people didn't do that because unexpectedly, he ended up having a really good weekend. And you can see he started to drop a little bit in that panic. People saw he got a brace for Real Madrid, and he's likely to get a Team of the Week card. That is his own competition. If he gets an 85 rated inform, suddenly there's a better option to go with at that left wing. So people are going to replace this inform with the other one. And depending on the supply of the 85, it could be a lot less rare than the 83. I've seen times in FIFA where the first inform is very similar in price to the second inform, just because the first inform is so rare and the second inform isn't. But you never see the first inform more expensive. Never really see it more expensive. There's no scenario in which it should be. It will get to the exact same price at the very, very worst. And I just don't see that happening for Vinicius Jr. So depending on the supply of the 85, it's going to impact the price of the 83. But on top of that, you've also got Yannick Carrasco, who could also be in this Team of the Week. So 2 left wings from La Liga. And that has caused the card to drop in price. There's competition, there's other options, and people are panic selling the crap out of the card, and honestly, they have a lot of good reason. There's going to be an opportunity to pick him up at its low point and probably flip him for a little bit of profit, but it's probably not something I'm going to get into because it is a little bit risky based on the supply of the 85 rated card. Nonetheless, that's a good lesson to learn about how competition for a certain card can end up affecting the price of the existing card, even if it's out of packs. Trent Alexander-Arnold could be a good example of this, okay? This card is the best right back to use in Premier League, which is commonly the most used league in FIFA. It might not be this year, but it's still up there if it isn't. It's one of the most used leagues, and so he's the best right back to use. The only other option is really Kyle Walker. I guess you could go João Cancelo, but that's a much lower price. 32,000 coin Kyle Walker is kind of the only other guy. But if you take a look at Trent Alexander-Arnold's dribbling and defense and passing, and he's got really good overall stats. He's got, You know, it kind of fits the meta this year. You see people use his base card even though the pace is terrible. So I can't imagine how good this one is. And once it goes out of packs, it's still going to have that demand. So it will rise out of packs. There's no doubt in my mind it's a good investment, okay? And if you take a look at some of the RTTK cards out of packs, I mean, yes, they are dynamic, but they have risen quite significantly, even if they aren't getting upgraded. Take a look at that Mukiele. They're not going to go through. Leipzig aren't going to win 3 of their next matches. It's no chance. They've got Man City and PSG in their group, so that's just not happening, okay? But he still rose. He pretty much doubled in price, right? From a couple links helping him out, and on top of that, he just was going up. He was already 66K when I bought him for 44, and I just bought him for my team, just randomly. They all rose in price out of packs, despite the fact that they might not get upgraded. So this Alexander-Arnold is not going to be an exception to that. The only problem is, let's say Kyle Walker did get an inform, or he was in the next promo, and there was competition, it would affect the price negatively. So you've got to watch out for that, but I really do like a lot of these rule breaker cards as investments. Now, the question becomes, when do we buy these cards to get them at their lowest point? Because it's not really about if they're going to rise or not. They are. But when do we buy him at his lowest point to maximize profit and make sure we're making profit? And that is a tougher question to answer. I think if you were to buy during 6 p.m. UK over the next 2 days, you're looking good, because that seems to be when they hit their low points. Now on Wednesday, you're going to have supply from Team of the Week. It's saved Team of the Week packs. You're not going to have rule breakers in that. However, on Thursday, you have marquee matchups, which have proven to add a lot of supply to the market. And that could be a really good opportunity to pick up some of these cards, although I think a lot of people are also going to be waiting to buy at that same time. So it's kind of fighting demand and supply both rise at the same time. So it'll be tough to see when their low point is. But if you find a really good low point and you have confidence in it, pull the trigger. Go for it. Frank Onyeka, think about some competition for this card, guys. The only ones that have competition here, it's going to be N'Golo Kante and Fred. Both much more expensive cards than Onyeka. Now, they do also have better links, but if you go with a Premier League team, he's kind of your guy. He's that option that's perfect, okay? So not a bad investment there. Moussa Diaby is a card that I told you in the last episode that he was going to crash from 140,000 coins, and it was going to happen whether he got a price range update or not, which it doesn't look like he ended up getting one, but yeah, he crashed in price, which is exactly what we thought was going to happen. There was pretty much no doubt about it. But when it comes to this left wing card, it's actually not terrible. I haven't heard too many great reviews. He does only have a 2-star weak foot, but I'm going to be real with you guys. Kingsley Coman in FIFA 22, I've used him quite a bit, over 100 games. He's a fraud. He is not good. So Diaby is probably going to be that option for left wing in Bundesliga, at least for now. We'll see how long it takes for him to get replaced, but I actually played against this Diaby, and it's one of the sweatiest cards in the game. I mean, he is so fast, it's not really fair. You can just dribble down to the corner, sweat it across, score goals. I raged when I played against this Diaby card. Not a fun card to play against, despite the fact that some of the stats like physicality and 2-star weak foot aren't great. I kind of like it going out of packs. Another card I kind of like is Marko Arnautovic. Another card that doesn't get the greatest of links, but if you have a Serie A team, I mean, that card is saucy. He's got 4-star, 4-star. He's only 28,000 coins. He's 86 rated, which isn't terribly low. So I don't think the supply is going to be quite as much as the cards like Rip Art have been. And yeah, 28,000 coins. He's got 85 pace, 87 shooting, 89 dribbling, 87 physicality. You slap a Hunter on it, it's one of the best strikers in Serie A. I mean, you're getting a budget Di Natale with physicality. It's a good card. So I really like that out of packs, and I've actually discussed with a couple other traders about who their favorite out of pack investments are going to be for these rule breakers, and I've come to the conclusion that that's one of my favorite cards. However, guys, that's not going to be everything we talk about in today's video, because when we look at out of pack investments, a lot of them end up working, but the ones that work the most are going to be cards that get that meta check mark, that get that out of packs check mark, they get the no competition check mark, all things we've talked about today. But something we haven't talked about and the most important aspect of all of the trades that we've made over the course of the last 4 weeks now has been complement links. And a lot of that has to do with red picks. And that's why I stress Team of the Week so much. Right now, these are just predictions. We'll see at 6 p.m. UK what ends up getting into Team of the Week. But we can see Vinicius Jr.'s in there. Carrasco's in there. You got Moeller. You got Di Maria. That's not bad. The rest of the team kind of looks poopy. Correa's not bad either. You could probably think of some links for him as well. But my favorite card in this Team of the Week probably is Carrasco. I think that's going to be one that people get. I would say Vinicius because he's lower rated, but I'm going to be real with you guys. I think we all know that EA make it harder to pack cards that are more expensive. They just do. Even if they're lower rated, it's going to be a tough one to pack. So Carrasco is kind of one that catches my eye. It is 86 rated, but we saw how Alaba at 86 rated and probably a worse card impacted Ferland Mendy's price really well this week. So that could be a good sign for links to Carrasco. The first things I think of is Marcos Llorente, the center mid, and then the left back, Renan Lodi. Renan Lodi is actually out of packs now as well. So he kind of fits every single different category. He's the perfect card to invest in currently at 160,000 coins, and he's kind of dropping right now. He reached a peak of almost 180. He's dropped about 20,000 coins already. And the reason for that is they're about to play Liverpool in Anfield, okay? And this game, it has a lot riding on it for this card. If Atletico Madrid win this game against Liverpool, they'll probably be hyped up to win 3 of the last 4 matches in Champions League. But on top of that, they'll pretty much be a lock to move on to the round of 16. Right now, they're still tied with, I believe it's Porto at 4 points. So if they beat Liverpool in Anfield, I mean, that's the biggest win you can have. So he'd skyrocket in price if they did. On the other hand, if they lose to Liverpool at Anfield, then there's a chance he doesn't get the upgrade from winning the 3 of 4 matches, and then he also has a chance of not getting through the group because if Porto end up winning in the same day, he's going to be 3 points behind what he needs to be to get to the knockout stage. So that's not going to help his price. So when it comes to investing in Renan Lodi right now, the risk is as high as it could possibly be. The return on investment also as high as it could possibly be. If they end up winning against Liverpool in Anfield, and that's a tough job to do right now. Liverpool are in form, Salah is unstoppable, and it's at Anfield. Not a fun game to play. But if they end up winning, this card could absolutely fly because both of the possible upgrades become much more likely. And that card is kind of potentially an 87. If they lose the game, it's potentially not going to get any upgrades, and that would probably end up making it a safer investment for us as we go with the complement link trades, because I can trade with this card whether it's going to get an upgrade or not. Mukiele I've traded with, and he's not going to get an upgrade. All right, they're not going to win 3 of their next 4 matches. They got to play PSG and Man City, and they're not nearly as good as they were in the previous years. So with that being said, this Renan Lodi card, if he stays 85 rated, I'm totally all right with trading with this card after he drops in price tomorrow. All I'm saying is I'm keeping my eye on him. I think he's going to be a nice investment for this weekend. But if you want to invest in him now, the risk is all on you. And I'm probably not going to participate in that because I like to make sure that the profit that I make is in my hands. I don't gamble on my cards. I will only go in when the deck is hot. I'm a card counter, all right? And that's how we make the most profit. We're not just going to go ahead and gamble on that game with all of our coins. As tempting as it may be, with all that profit that's possible if they end up winning the game, it's just too risky for me. But it's definitely a card that I'm going to keep my eye on. So Vinicius Jr., that's another card that links with Ferland Mendy, could be a potential investment. You've got Llorente, Marcos Llorente, who we've actually traded with a little bit. He's similar to the De Jong investment that we ended up making when Depay was in inform, and people were building links to Memphis Depay with that hyperlink to Frankie De Jong, and that ended up working out very, very well. So even though they're not out of packs, they could still end up being some pretty solid investments. So this Marcos Llorente right there, about 60,000 coins right now. Maybe not too bad. I'm probably going to wait to buy on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday to win whenever I find that low point that I like, and then I'll sell sometime on Monday. That's kind of the plan for these cards. When you look at a couple more of those Team of the Week cards, Di Maria is another card that catches my eye. It's one of the higher rated cards, so I don't know how much it's going to be packed, but the obvious link to that is Achraf Hakimi, the right back. He's about 100,000 coins right now. We've seen a little bit of panic on him, even though there's really no reason for people to panic with this card. He has dropped about 10,000 coins because of the Rule Breakers SBC, and there's not even a right back Rule Breaker, so I don't know why people would be selling their right back so much, but it is what it is, and maybe we can take advantage of that and pick up some Hakimis for cheaper than what they normally go for. But right now, he's at about 93,000 coins, and if people pack a Di Maria, I mean, that is the way to go for that link. And the Di Maria card will be pretty good with a Hunter as well, so not too bad. And that's going to be it for what we talk about in today's episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, go ahead and slap a like on that video. That would be absolutely amazing. Comment the word zucchini down below if you've made it to the end of the video. The word zucchini. I'll make sure to heart every single one of you guys that use that word in your comment. And also, help me build my team to finish my squad, okay? I've got some placeholders in here. You know, Smith Rowe, I don't really want to use. You know, Werner is untradeable. I know he's pretty solid in game. Ousmane Dembele is a pretty solid link, but I don't have full chemistry on Bernardo Silva. I don't have full chemistry on Werner. How do I finish this team? You know, how do I get full chemistry on this squad while also having a lot of meta players? I only need a few more spots. I mean, even with this, we end up getting full chemistry on the defense, even when Pogba's at left center mid. So maybe go with a Rashford at left wing, something along those lines. Maybe, you know, there's no strikers from Man City, is there? And Gabriel Jesus's card is a right wing, so that's not a great idea. I know his base card's a striker. I don't know. Let me know down below what you guys think about it if you have any ideas for me. That's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to check out all of my social media links down below, and I'll see you guys again in tomorrow's video. Peace out.